What do you say? What do you know? It's the Full Monty Sports Show. It is Monday, 12/12/2022. I am your host, Monty Perez, aka the Sports Whisperer. The gang is back together. Amarie and Brad Ward will join us in about 5 minutes. I want to thank everyone for watching yesterday. We had Pat Benson, who covers the Atlanta Hawks on the Full Monty Sports Show on Sunday. Really appreciate you guys watching. Got a lot of positive feedback about Pat, who does a tremendous job covering the Atlanta Hawks. He was at the game last night, does a tremendous job. Atlanta Hawks won last night in a crazy game at the buzzer in overtime. Make sure to follow me on social media on Twitter, MontyJP231, and on TikTok, Monty Perez231. We are over 2 million views on TikTok. We are absolutely killing it on TikTok, getting a ton of views. Definitely follow me there. And great news, we started the Full Monty Sports Show podcast. A lot of people were confused about this. It is just audio, so you can listen to it on your car ride. You can listen to it when you're at the gym. You can listen to it when you go holiday shopping. It is just basically me talking about sports. We did the AFC breakdown in our first show, and in the second show we did the NFC breakdown. And tomorrow I will break down the NBA Eastern Conference, and then Thursday or Friday we'll break down the NBA Western Conference. Trying to do 2 podcasts per week, along with two shows per week. The podcasts are only 30 minutes, so it's great. Get on the treadmill, get on the elliptical, go for a walk, listen to it. And again, anywhere you find the Full Monty Sports Show, one-stop shopping, just type it in and you will get all those fun things. So I just want to get real quick to a point that I saw earlier today. I don't make it a habit of quoting other shows. Usually when I do it, I mean, I may criticize an announcer or call them out on social media, but I don't talk about other shows really much on this show that much. But I got to point to Undisputed today. Shannon Sharp went after Tom Brady. And I don't know if any of you saw the clip, but Skip Bayless, who said that he would rather have, are you ready for this? He would rather have Baker Mayfield than Josh Allen. That was one of his tweets, because Baker Mayfield is a better overall quarterback than Josh Allen. He also said that Johnny Manziel will one day be bigger in Cleveland than LeBron. So Skip Bayless kind of keeps failing upward. Good for him. The guy's making $5 million a year to spew his sports takes. Good for him. We all want to make that much money, right? But he comes after Shannon Sharp here. Now, look, I just posted something about Brittany Griner on TikTok. I don't care if people disagree with me. If you don't think, or if you think she's a criminal, you could say whatever you want on my page. But when you start attacking me personally, some guy said, "Oh, you're this. Dude, you don't know anything about me." One thing I take pride in is my work ethic, and I come with receipts. So if I have something to say, it's been corroborated by 3 sources. And when I mean sources, I'm talking reputable sources. I am not talking about your sister's cousin's best friend's blog. That is not a source. But Skip Bayless does something here that even for me, I was shocked, and I'm going to play the video.
When you had to stop at 35.
Skip, that's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No,
Skip, I did what I did.
I never said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
Now, I say this all the time. In order for you to understand what an athlete goes through, you either had to play, coach, have had some sort of success. Skip Bayless, his senior year in high school, he averaged 1.3 points a game. Doesn't mean he doesn't know the sport. Do you know how hard it is? How hard it is to win one Super Bowl ring? I'll give you an example. Aaron Rodgers, who I consider the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, has one Super Bowl ring. He has the same Super Bowl rings as Trent Dilfer, as Brad Johnson, as Matthew Stafford. You know how hard it is to win two Super Bowl rings? Let's exclude the Patriots. Shannon Sharpe has 3 Super Bowl rings. Shannon Sharpe and his brother Sterling are probably one of the greatest NFL brothers to ever play the game. Shannon Sharpe says to Skip, "I got 3 rings. You act like I was a scrub. I'm in the Hall of Fame." And Skip Bayless says, "So what?" Come on, Skip. Again, I don't care if you disagree with me, but if you're going to try to attack me personally, or as here, let me show the clip one more time. He's attacking Shannon Sharpe because he only has 3 Super Bowl rings.
When you had to stop at 35.
Skip, that's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No,
Skip, I did what I
never
did.
said you.
Now, my identity is not based on my. There's 2 things that I despise in life: people who identify their whole personality based on their president. I don't have banners of my political parties who I support. I support them through financially. I am not. If my president sucks, I want him out the next year. If my politician sucks, that's not my identity. And Skip Bayless's whole identity here is Tom Brady. So if you talk bad about Tom Brady, Skip Bayless takes it personally, like they're lovers. Ridiculous on every level. On every level. Yeah. I mean, again, God bless Skip Bayless. The guy is a troll, and he's making $5 million a year. We all want to be live a comfortable life broadcasting sports. But if you're going to go after Shannon Sharpe, dude, really, you could disagree with Shannon Sharpe, but don't call him out for his football career. One of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. 3 Super Bowl rings. Again, Aaron Rodgers has 1. All right. Let's bring them on. The 2 people who, we were off a couple of weeks ago because I had something to do. Amarie's been sick. She had something to do. Brad Ward, Amarie, welcome back. How is everyone?
The band is back together.
Yes, it is. Brad, how are you?
Great rant, Monte. I totally agree with you. Listen, the thing you got to understand about Skip Bayless is it's all stick.
Yeah.
It's all stick. I mean, he literally has created an entire persona that sells, that pisses people off so they'll watch because it makes them angry. Right. And that's why it's not really, I don't think like a lot of the stuff he says is really how he feels, to be honest.
I think Shannon Sharpe took off his glasses, and someone said when a guy takes off and Skip's like, "Don't take your glasses off," like Shannon Sharpe was like, "I'm about to throw down." I think a lot of the stuff they do is shtick. I think that was generally they were upset. And I will say this, you bring up a great point. There's a lot of people on Twitter. There's this guy named Nick Adams who calls himself the alpha male, and all he does is tweet about going to Hooters, being a man, and people always like go back at him, and I'm like, dude, he's just doing that to get clicks. That's all he's doing it for. Because if you look at the guy, he's anything but an alpha male. All right, let's talk NFL. Amarie, let's start with you. My first question is, my friend Jared offered me a trade a month ago. Actually 6 weeks ago. He had Jalen Hurts and I had Dalvin Cook. And I traded Dalvin Cook because I'm like, in worst case scenario, Jalen Hurts is going to get you 2 touchdowns. How is Dalvin Cook not touching the ball against a division rival?
I mean, he did score a touchdown, Monte. He also had the turnover that changed the momentum of the game.
Great point.
And I'm still in shock and trying to figure out what the hell he was doing. Because when Kirk Cousins, if no one saw it, when Kirk Cousins handed him off the ball, we were in the red zone. He held the ball like this and was like, what are you doing?
I said at the time, they're in trouble now. And Amarie, he only had Dalvin Cook. This was a close game. He only had 15 carries. Get him 25.
The thing about this game, they had the two worst secondaries in the NFL, 31st and 32nd, both give up the most yards. These were all about big plays. That's what's this game. Like, we had more first downs, but Detroit had more bigger plays. And I don't know if you guys saw also with 4 minutes ago, Justin Jefferson did not step out of bounds and scored a touchdown, but they called the play dead. I know probably none of you care or watched play-by-play the Minnesota Vikings against the Detroit Lions, but it was and that's no excuses. Dalvin Cook will be getting the ball more. The problem is we don't have time right now. We're missing half of our offensive line, and right. I'm not excusing that. I'm just pointing out facts. But I'm hoping that we get our secondary back, because there was zero defense. It was trash. It was garbage. It was embarrassing. Hats off to the Lions. They're a whole different team from when the Vikings first played them. Their defensive front is really good. And they have an explosive offense. I had to mute. Have we been talking about commentators and analysts talking? I had to mute the commentator yesterday.
Every commentator loves Dan Campbell and Detroit
and
Lions.
Loves Jared Goff. They're like, oh, well, if the Detroit Lions were 10-2, we'd be talking about how impressive their offense is. I'm like, so the Vikings offense is just trash? We have one of the best wide receivers. We do have the best wide receiver in the league. Well, and, how do you lose after having 200 yards? And Kirk Cousins 400.
Kirk Cousins 425 passing yards. And I thought TJ Hawkinson going into this game has 30 catches. He's fit right in.
He had some big drops.
He did. He had some drops in Detroit. He did.
And this is the problem. This is December football. You can't just, this isn't going to be a sleepwalk. This is we should have got the job done. People are going to continue to think the Vikings are frauds. They are not frauds. New coach, new systems, and I hope we can just bounce back from this, because I'm going to the game with my husband this weekend in Minnesota as they take on the Indianapolis Colts.
Talk about this play on fourth down. My boy from Oregon, Panay Sewell, gets the first down. Kind of frustrating, because if you would have stopped them there. But I agree with you. Amarie, I said when Dalvin Cook fumbled, I said they're in trouble. They are in trouble, because all the momentum and all the right before the half, you go and you score, you're tied up. They didn't recover from that.
No, they didn't, except that you guys have to see this play. It's insane. Kirk has a huge throw to Justin Jefferson. They thought the play was dead because he goes out of bounds, but he didn't, and he scores a touchdown. It's crazy. And and of course, at the beginning of the game, I was like, in true Minnesota Viking fashion, this will come down to the end. But it was just, the defense was horrendous yesterday. And Detroit's defense isn't any better except for their front line. But anyways, it was awful, and should just got the job done, got the North. We can afford some losses. Like, people are so upset. The Vikings are still 10-3. Like, what more?
Amarie, do you understand what Steve's talking about here about the ball being outside the pylon? Explain that, because I didn't see that play.
So thank you. Okay.
Steve Rogers.
Steve, yeah, okay. This was I was like, did they want? I don't believe this rigged, or maybe I'm a gambling addict. Right. But he didn't cross the
pylon.
The pylon. So he hit the outside corner. Those were the two highlights I should have had ready for you. It was insane. And they're like, touchdown. Didn't even review it.
They didn't review it at all? I thought they review every. Oh, no, they didn't challenge either. Okay. All right. Okay, Amarie. So I don't think the Vikings are in trouble. I still think that they'll be a number 2 seed. I still think they win the division. But Brad,
this comes down to playoff football, and if Kirk Cousins can actually do something in the playoffs, I know I'm going to talk about Dallas later. We're going to get to the playoffs. We're going to be fine, but you cannot have those moments in the playoffs in postseason.
I will say this. Andrea texted me. She goes, I feel so bad for Amarie. Before we get to Brad's point, you said you didn't feel really bad about that game. Is it because you have such a cushion?
We have a cushion, and maybe it's because I've been a fan for so long that that didn't surprise me at all. People were worried about me. People were calling into the radio this morning. I was like, have you ever watched the Minnesota Vikings? Like, we could just, you're telling me we could have just secured a playoff and clinched the North? Oh, no, that's too easy. No.
All right, John, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. First time tuning in here.
Oh,
all right.
Good job, John. Welcome aboard, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all.
Right. Okay. And
we're going to play half our offensive line back this week. This is going to be awesome.
12-5, 13-4. Go ahead, Brad.
All right, so I don't think the Vikings should be worried. All right, Amarie, I think they're a good team. I think they're better than they were yesterday. I watched parts and pieces of this, so I don't have a full scope of this, but I do want to address the Lions, right? Because me and Monte have been, hammering what's his face, Dan Campbell, bro, all year, and I want to say that their offense is innovative, but that credit goes to Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator. And their defense is still kind of garbage, and that's kind of really his domain, right, on this team. So I don't know. I guess you can give him some credit. I'm still not buying in on the Lions. I'm not in on the Lions. I think that, it's easy for them to go through the ridiculous roller coaster ride of losing a close game. It's easy to get on a high when they win a couple in a row like this and think that you're much better than they are, and sometimes that's worth something in the NFL. So they are on a winning streak, and they do have a chance
playing well,
at the playoffs.
Balls were lobbing. I'm like, how did our secondary not?
And little shameless promotion here. I did say when I broke down the NFC, I mentioned Brad and you guys on this. I said I have them in preseason. I had them winning 8 games. So there's nothing has changed. And I love their offensive line. It's top 5. Yeah. They have 2 stud running backs in Swift and Williams. They have a Super Bowl quarterback, and St. Brown is a legitimate number 1 wide receiver.
Also, man, I wish Kirk Cousins had that much time. Oh man, that guy has no time at all.
Yeah, no, the Eagles. The Eagles. The Lions' offensive line, anchored by my boy Penei Sewell, who caught that pass from the University of Oregon. They are a top 5 offensive line. I think a couple weeks ago, Pro Football Focus updated their list, and I think the Lions were 4th on the offensive line.
Yeah, the offense are good. Just like what Brad said, though, they give up a lot of yards on defense, so their secondary is like garbage.
I'm just saying. My whole point was Dan Campbell still sucks. Okay, so he's still a meathead, and he's still not a good NFL coach.
I'll end with this, and then we'll get to the Browns. So one of the Lions players says, "I told you all we own this division," and I said, "You own the division at 6-7? What are you talking about?" This, and again, this is being too high, too low. Do you think if the Patriots win tonight and they go 7-6, Mac Jones is going to tweet out, "We own the AFC. We own the AFC conference at 7-6. You're 6-7, Lions. Let's calm down."
Yeah. They need to own the division. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're 4 games behind right now.
Come on, bro. We got a chance at this, bro.
All right, Brad. I love the fact that Brad and I agree with our hatred of not the hatred, just how dysfunctional Dan Campbell really is, and people don't see it. All right, Brad. Let's talk about your Cleveland Browns. Listen, I said that I think that the Bengals are the best team in the AFC. I think they're going to get to the AFC Championship again. I have some questions my friend Bill wanted me to ask you after you break this down. It was the first time that the Browns have lost to the Bengals in 5 straight, and I think the Browns beat them 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10, something like that?
Yeah, 8 out of 9. Burrow and Chase had not beaten the Bengals. So 5 in a row. They lose. It was... the Browns they beat themselves, right? They have more talent than this, and it's just discouraging. They had pressure on Burrow all day, but it never really was a game because of the Browns just beating themselves. They do some very undisciplined thing. 9 penalties for 98 yards, and they were critical penalties. The roughing the kicker. Listen, there's been 3 roughing the kicker penalties before yesterday in the NFL all year. Yep. The juice is not worth the squeeze on trying to block punts, especially when you're setting up to get the ball at the 50-yard line. What the hell are they doing? Mike Prefer, special teams coach, is done at the end of the year. Joe Woods, in my opinion, is done at the end of the year. Defensive coordinator. I believe in Stefanski. I think he'll be back. So that's where we're at with that as far as my opinions go. But on the staff. But yeah, the offense did not perform yesterday. They have problems up front. Their offensive line is not playing as well. And just real interestingly, so Watson's second game played much better, right? Much better. Of course, he's not all the way there yet, but made some miraculous plays and played much better as a whole. Him playing out of the shotgun all the time changes the Browns' run game a little bit, and they found they had a tough time. They had a tough time getting the run game going at all, and
that brings up my point here because 14 carries for Chubb, 34 yards. Again, going back to Dalvin Cook. Did they abandon the run game too early, or their offensive line is just a mess?
No, they just could not get anything there. They probably should have abandoned it earlier, in my opinion, or done something different. They're very multiple up front, but they're really dinged up, right? They're on their fourth center of the year. And it's not an excuse. All teams are dinged up this time of year. But they're just not the same offensive line that was there week 8, right? When they played each other and right. Chubb ran for $120 or whatever. So it's different, and it's gonna take some time for Stefanski to figure out and Bill Callahan to figure out how they want to run the ball with Watson in the gun. The RPO stuff is not generating enough in the run game. So, Chubb has been a guy that you get the ball to in the wide zone, and teams are kind of keying on those cutback lanes and stopping that now. So there needs to be some adjustments made, and they're missing some of their best offensive linemen. So they struggled. But they did dumb shit a flea flickers, guys. Flea. How often does a flea flicker really work in the NFL? Yeah. Not very often. Usually, usually there's a couple safeties back and somebody still has to make a good play. The dude was butt naked running in the end zone on the flea flicker. How do you bite that hard? It's just. I'm so sick of the defense. This game wasn't the defense's fault, but they do idiotic things every week, and I'm ready for a new defensive coordinator.
Okay, well, 2 questions my friend Bill wanted me to ask you. One is, now that Stefanski's going to fire a number of coaches, is he on the hot seat to win next year?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think you give him all of 2023. There are people that want him gone now, Monte, but I think that's like that in every NFL city.
Impatient fan.
Yeah.
So the other question is, in limited access, what do you see from Deshaun Watson that's a lot different than when you had your backup in there?
His ability to run the ball, right? He has done a lot. Buy time and run the ball. And yesterday he looked a lot better throwing the ball. So, ultimately I think that when you get Watson without 700 plus days of rust and a couple weeks under his belt, probably won't get that $230 million Watson that you paid for till 2023 is my opinion. Right. Probably till next year when he gets a full offseason with his receivers and whatnot. But, what they need to do now is evaluate these last 4 weeks, right? And figure out, what works, what doesn't. And then on the defensive side of the ball, who you want to be a part of this going forward, right?
Yep.
So.
Okay. All right, good stuff, Brad. Good stuff, Amarie. Let's move to the Miami Dolphins versus the Chargers. First off, let's be honest, Tua was horrible, right? 10 of 28, and that's his second week of a row looking like a rookie. He was terrible. Now, I will say this, Mike McDaniel is a lot right now like Rex Ryan, right? Rex Ryan came onto the scene, and people never saw that defense. So it took him a while to get adjusted to it. People never saw this offense that Mike McDaniel was running or a version of it, and they've been successful, but now they have tape. We always say it takes about 10 to 12 games for coordinators to start seeing tendencies. Tua was horrible. Todd Bowles, again, we'll talk about him later, was 10-6 his first year with the Jets, and then people realized what this guy was all about, and he never won more than 5 games in 4 years with the Jets after that. So Mike McDaniels, there's some pressure on you now. I will say this, okay? When Jalen Waddle doesn't get a touch in the first half, I know Tua was horrible, but not a reverse, not a quick screen. Going into last week's game, he was second. He was top 5 in yards. Tyreek Hill was first. Tyreek Hill had 2 touchdowns, did what he had to do. I don't think that the Dolphins defense played well. Obviously, Justin Herbert, 39 for 51, 367 yards. But I'm going to play a video here. Well, let me make this point first and see what you guys say. So there was 7 plays inside the 10-yard line, and this is why Brandon Staley, I wanted them to fire him at halftime. 7 plays inside the 10-yard line, and Brad, Amarie, Justin Herbert, there was not one route in the end zone. They threw a 2-yard screen, a 1-yard screen. Then on 4th and 2, they throw the ball to Keenan Allen 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The only time Justin Herbert got a touchdown is when he rolled out and had to create something. And if you watch Herbert, the guy throws dime after dime. What the hell is Brandon Staley doing? 7 possessions inside, 7 plays inside the 10-yard line, and they don't throw it to the end zone once?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I can't explain it. How are they going to handle this with Staley? Like, are they going to flat out fire him, do you think, in the offseason? Do you really believe that, Monte?
No, I don't think they are, but he's living. And let me get your guys' take on this. I didn't tweet it out last night for some reason because I wanted to save it. But they called listen, Dolphins were going to lose the game. But what are we doing here if this is a roughing the passer penalty?
Body weight on him, Terry? Terry, body weight? Yeah, that's what.
One more time.
Body weight on him, Terry? Terry, body weight? Yeah, that's what they call. And we see these often. I just don't see this as no straw his body weight. He does try to brace, maybe not.
I mean, is that not a tackle? What is that?
Yeah.
Same.
That's where we're at. I mean, you can't. I mean, these calls get play. These plays get called every week in the league, every single week, and it's nauseating. Like there is no. It's completely up to the referee. I mean, it's completely their choice, and like if they feel like you came down too hard with your body weight on them,
first of all,
you will get flagged.
Out. His hands were out. He didn't even wrap them up.
It's they're tough left and right.
It's bad, man.
Game. It happened with Jared Goff too in the Viking game. They're very tough calls, and I think it's a very sensitive.
If we're gonna do this, seriously, just make it 2-hand touch on the quarterbacks. I hate to say that, but that is a big play in the game. It was a good sack. They were about to punt. They get a first down.
There's probably 10 plays this year, very similar to that, where people were flagged for roughing the passer that were not legitimate roughing the passer, where like maybe even the defensive guy made a conscious effort to not come down on the quarterback and still got flagged for it. And it was a critical moment in the game that got the team a first down on a 3rd down or a first down on a 4th down. This has happened all year. It's crazy, and they need to reevaluate.
Steve brings up a good point. He fell on him, but how are you supposed? If you're going to tackle a guy, how are you supposed to tackle him and without trying to hurt yourself, like roll off him? And we've seen quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. You hit them, they appear to be down. They're not down. Like, what are we doing here, Amarie?
It's tough. Like I understand we have to call it, but I think there's such a difference.
Why do you have to call that though?
That you don't have to call that. Like, and even think about remember when the Commanders beat the Eagles this year? Remember that last play with Heineke? Like stuff like that. Like that's just the way it's gonna be right now. I would like to say something about the Dolphins though.
Go ahead.
Also, by the way, but when we're done with this topic, I have one more take on the Dolphins.
Go for it. Right now, you can do it.
Just real quick. So, yeah, Tua's looked off, especially last week and this week, but they cannot establish a running game at all. And you have 2 of the best wide receivers in the league. If you can't get that damn ball running, you're not going to open up Tyreek and Waddle. They are incredible. Tyreek is insane, but they can't run the ball.
and I said this early on. I said you would think McDaniel coming from the Kyle Shanahan coaching
Yeah.
tree, you would figure that he would run the ball, but he doesn't like the run the ball at all.
Yeah, you
By the
got
way,
the ball.
can we talk about Tua for a second? I've seen small quarterbacks run, and I've seen big, slow Tom Brady run. When Tua runs, it's like he has no idea how to run. It's like no one taught him. It's so ugly to watch. And Brad, I'm concerned this guy, he doesn't know how to slide. He doesn't know how to take a hit. They said that was the first time he's run the ball in like 3 weeks. He has no idea how to run.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody taught him. He's a goofy runner. He's a goof. Yeah, he's a goofy runner. Nobody taught him the right way to run.
Got to be more offense than throwing 60 yards to Tyreek Hill.
No, I agree.
And I'm not taking away from Tyreek Hill because he's incredible, but I'm saying they need to establish more offense. Like, it's crazy.
Well, I will say this. Mike McDaniel's under pressure now because teams have now figured out how to limit them. So, all right, let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys, 10-3. I'm watching this game, and I get so annoyed because three times they decide to go for it, the Texans. And I know the Texans are 1-10. 2 times they decide to go for it on 4th down. If they kick the field goal, they go up 9. They didn't. And as Dallas is driving, I'm like, this game is over. Seen this too many times. Dallas plays down to the level of competition and beats a crappy Texan team.
Barely beats a crappy. And I've been waiting for Dak's bad game. He's a lot the narrative like how with Kirk Cousins can't win big games or just has that one game where it's just atrocious. This was the game, the 2 interceptions. The Cowboys just didn't look good at all. I know you played down to your competition, but this should have for this team and all the hype they're getting and their defense and their whatever. I'm over them. I feel bad for Mike McCarthy because he doesn't get credit, but I think he deserves some of the credit. But anyways, Cowboys, just like the Minnesota Vikings, I think we're on the same level of the Vikings and the Cowboys, and it's like you can't have these games. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna go to a Super Bowl? No, you're not. You're not gonna. You can't play these games and win a Super Bowl. Get out of here.
You bring up a great point about Dak Prescott. Listen to the stat. Dak is 16-24 when he throws 35 times or more. Patrick Mahomes, when he throws 35 times or more, is 35-15. So when you have to rely on Dak in a big game for him to come back and throw it, Brad, he's not getting it done.
No.
I guess. I'm a Dak fan. I like Dak. I think that,
I like him.
Yeah, I like him. I think that this team, just play. Listen, it's really hard to play down to the Texans level because they are way, way down there. Like, it's difficult.
No less.
I mean, the Browns played them and
you have nothing to lose.
They handed over 4 goofy ass turnovers to the Browns last week. I mean, and they looked awful, and they still beat them easily. So I don't know how this happened, but either way, let's be real. The Cowboys are good, and when they are hitting on all cylinders, they have 2 good backs. I like Prescott. They have good receivers. Michael.
I brought this question up, Brad, because you're talking about their backs and their receivers. I don't think C.D. Lamb is a number 1 wide receiver on a Super Bowl winning team. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Tyreek Hill. He's not Jamar Chase. I don't think
you have to be though. Like you think that you have to have a 1A alpha receiver to win a Super Bowl. I think that the history shows us otherwise.
Well, if you look at the teams that are successful in the NFL right now, you look at the Buffalo Bills. Stephon Diggs has over 90 catches. You look at Jamar Chase when he's healthy, almost unstoppable. You look at Tyreek Hill, what he's doing. All these playoff teams, Daniel Jones has no wide receivers. The Giants are terrible because it's Barkley. You look at what A.J. Brown's doing right now. You look at what Russell Wilson, I know you hate him, but what he did with those 2 guys. You need a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. That's why the Packers have taken a step back with Devontae. When they had Devontae Adams, they were winning 13 games a year.
Okay, I would agree with you that he is not to the level of Hill and Jefferson and those guys, right? But I still think he's a legit number 1 in the NFL.
I think the Cowboys, point being, they're a good team. Let's just see what they can do in postseason.
I think they have a ceiling. I think
I'm saying let's see. They're
I
known
don't
as
think
choke
they're
artists.
legitimate.
My team is as well. Let's see what they can do in January and if they're the real deal.
They have a good defense. I'm just going to say this. Like, they have a very good defense, and Micah Parsons is incredible. Diggs is good.
By the way, no sacks yesterday, Brad. How do you not
I know.
have sacks against that terrible offensive line?
I don't know. It's just one.
That
It's
day,
one of
that
those
day.
weird NFL things, right? But here's the thing about what I like about the Cowboys is that if they get hot, right? If they get hot, I think they could win like 4 in a row and win a Super Bowl.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. I don't think
if they got hot, but you got to get it at the right time, right? Okay.
No one has ever won a Super Bowl in
this,
November, December.
Christmas Eve game against the Eagles.
Yes.
I can't wait for that one.
I can't wait for that one because my Eagles are the best team in the NFL.
Oh my God!
Did you just say your Eagles?
I love Jalen Hurts.
His
Love him.
Jets, his Packers, his Eagles. You have an easy life.
It is easy. It is easy. All right. Let's go, Brad. Let's go to the Ravens. I don't know how they won this game. They threw for 104 yards, Brad. How does this team keep winning?
It's just like, what the F?
It's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, it's a joke at this point. It really is.
Job.
So,
hey. 3 interceptions.
Yeah. So, both quarterbacks got knocked out of this game. And we'll get to the Huntley getting knocked out in a second, but so Trubisky comes in and leads a beautiful drive down the field, but then proceeds to throw 3 god-awful interceptions and cough the game up. So, I mean, he teased us for a moment there and then went off the rails. So, it is what it is. Literally, the Ravens just play games and say, we're not going to make mistakes, and we're going to let you make the first mistakes, and that's it. Like, and it's absurd. I mean, how are they winning games? Like,
they're 9-4. How?
But they were losing all of last week to the Broncos, and then Huntley comes in and leads them on a game-winning drive. Yeah. And then this week, it's just absurd. I don't understand how they're winning games. They're not that good. The Browns are 3-point that should tell you enough right there. The Browns are 3-point favorites against them next week. And this team is 9-4. The Browns are 5-8. 5-8? 4-8? 5-8? Doesn't matter. Pickett in concussion protocol. Hey, I did notice though, Monte, Anthony Brown Jr. is an Oregon Duck.
Yeah. It's funny because anytime it's I mean, I'm obsessed with the Oregon Ducks, partly because of their uniform, but anytime someone talks about Oregon Ducks, they'll text me, "Hey, this guy's a Duck." I'm the father of all these Duck fans. But I love hearing it because
you're the Duck father.
Yeah, you're quack quack. You're seeing in the NFL and the NBA now, Oregon Ducks are really starting to put a nice collection of NBA and NFL talent. So it's very happy.
I've never heard of this bozo before.
Well, Fred, so I have the Bengals as the second best team in the entire NFL. Are you going to tell me that the Ravens, as bad as they are going to win this division, or they have no shot?
I don't think they can win the division. I think if they played the Bengals will destroy them. But especially without Lamar. I mean, I guess you give them credit for finding a way to win every week, but it's freaking ugly and disgusting.
It's really ugly. It's
awful.
That game against the Broncos set offenses back for a decade.
This one is no better, really. I mean, And you
put up a good point about Trubisky. He comes in, and you're like, hey, we got something going here. And then this is what he's been in his career, right? He has a quarter or two of flashes, and then he goes right down.
Yeah, he just drives you right off the road into the trees. It's crazy that it really is crazy that the Ravens have sustained their winning because there's nothing really good about them, I guess. I mean, there's nothing they don't have any good wide receivers. J.K. Dobbins is finally getting healthy, but it's not like they dominate in the run game. Their defense isn't overwhelming. They literally just make less mistakes than the other team.
That's it. It's like I'm coming out. I came out with an article and I said the Ravens just win by running the ball a little bit and defense, but their defense isn't like the 2000 Ravens where it's so dominant. And like you said, they had 3 interceptions. When you have 3 interceptions, you should win by 14 points. They won 16-14.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're on the Ravens bandwagon, Amarie, are you not?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
I want to
How
tell Steve.
dare you? How dare you?
Steve. No, I like the Bengals though. I want to tell Steve Rogers over
How
here.
dare you for that?
Dallas was a good team. Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins remind me a lot of each other. They're either really good or they're really bad. And they have one bad game a year. And let's see what they both can do in postseason. You can keep bringing up how you kicked the living shit out of the Vikings this year. But until you win something, then I can't say anything either. So stop it. Cowboy fans are the worst.
I think Steve Rogers is actually a Minnesota Viking fan.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. All right.
I was just
but listen, anytime you want to take a crack at Cowboys fans, I'm all for it.
No, but I was reading that. I was like, I think Dallas is a good team.
No. He's definitely a Viking fan. All right, let's move to my Jets.
I love you, Steve.
Let's move to my Jets. Listen,
Sorry,
Mike White, 27
This is a weird one.
He got beaten up.
He left in an ambulance.
The Jets, listen, the Jet team is a very good team. They are, and when I say very good team, their roster is very good. Their defense is good. Their wide receiver is good. Sauce Gardner is good. But let's be honest here. I was listening to a show today, and they were saying, "Oh man, did you see Mike White take a beating? He's so tough. The players love him. This guy needs to start more because he's tough." I don't want my quarterback to be tough. I want my quarterback to be able to make plays in the red zone or on 3rd and 8. When everything's going wrong, he carries the team like a Patrick Mahomes, like a Justin Herbert. Mike White is a decent NFL quarterback, but he's no different than Ryan Fitzpatrick. He can win you games. He can make plays. But do I want Mike White going up against Tua, going up against Josh Allen? Do I want him in a playoff game going up against Justin Herbert? Hell no. Jet fans, you're delirious with this guy. Anytime someone shows a little moxie, this isn't 1970s. You don't have to be Terry Bradshaw and play with 3 concussions. Just win some damn games. Make some plays. Throw the ball on 3rd and 8 and make a dart or dime throw like Justin Herbert does. I don't give a rat's ass that Mike White is tough. All quarterbacks are tough. That's why they're in the NFL.
Yeah, weird game. Weird game, Monte. Weird game.
Super weird game.
But thank you. I'm glad your team covered for me. I apprite it.
No problem. Okay.
I thought, hold on real quick. Can I say something about this game?
Sure.
Why not? I think that the Jets actually outplayed the Bills in this game. I felt like they were the better, and I know that sounds crazy because I've been on the Bills bandwagon all year, saying they're the best team in the AFC, but the Bills played very good in this game. Mike White got beat up, but I don't know, the Jets, they are different without Zach Wilson, that's for sure. How about them going to Flacco and say, "Where's Wilson just gone, done forever now?"
Yeah, no, they're not even dressing him. They don't want him to be part of the
yeah, so that's interesting. Jets undrafted free agent Zonovan Knight.
They're running the ball well.
17 carries for 71 yards, 19 broken tackles on 46 carries. Impressive.
And I will say this, Sauce Gardner against Stephon Diggs. In 2 games, Stephon Diggs has 8 catches against him. Now, I know he doesn't always match up against him, but,
sure.
You figure Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, they've struggled twice against the Jets and Robert Saleh. Again, the Jets are a couple of players away, but they don't have a quarterback. So bring in Jimmy G. I'll even go with Derek Carr, who's been terrible in the red zone. He has the worst completion percentage in the red zone this year. I don't know how that's possible when you have Devontae Adams. I don't know how that's possible. But with Zach Wilson, Mike White, it's you're not a division champion with those guys.
Agreed. Okay. They need a quarterback. Got to figure it out.
Okay, Amarie, I'm sure you love this. 49ers dominate 35-7.
Brock Purdy, baby. I don't care. This one-dimensional trash Bucks team who's still going to host a damn probably home playoff game when they should have only been 500. I know Tom Brady, whatever. I mean, what a story for this kid, Mr. Irrelevant, to come in, 2 touchdowns. What a lot of fun. How fun. How fun. Your first start in the NFL and you beat Tom Brady. I mean, do we need to say more than that?
No, we don't. But Brad, I'm going to say this. Brock Purdy is a more accurate passer than Trey Lance. He's a better runner than Jimmy G. Jimmy G's career is over in San Francisco. Yeah. And Brad, this is like hitting the lottery for 49ers because both of these guys are under rookie contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, listen, Brock Purdy is playing, much better than ever could have expected. But a lot of this is once again, Shanahan is a genius. You just plug in whoever you want at quarterback there, and it seems to work, right?
No defense.
I'm not taking credit away from, Purdy because he's done an excellent job. I did hear a stat that, okay, so listen to this. 2 outside the number touchdown throws from Garoppolo in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And Purdy threw 2 touchdowns outside the numbers in the second quarter.
Yeah.
In this game. So
yeah, he's very accurate. Had a nice career at Iowa State. And I will say this. I've said this from the beginning. I saw Todd Bowles with the Jets just milk that team until there was nothing left.
Right.
You should not be this bad. Todd Bowles is a disaster as a head coach, whether he doesn't pay attention to detail. I mean, how many times have we seen Tom Brady? The clock's running down. There's something. Todd Bowles is in the line. Again, I'll mention Rex Ryan, Wade Phillips, North Turner. He's a great coordinator. He can't be a head coach.
Absolutely. Hands down. Hands down.
Steve, so Debo injury looked really bad, right?
Yeah.
And then it's a high ankle sprain. So I guess he's going to be back 3 weeks, they're saying?
They say he'll be back during the regular season, but
okay.
So they have enough weapons that, Jesus Christ.
They have. That's good news for them. But, listen, the 49ers are absolutely loaded with matchup nightmares on offense, and their defense is incredible, too. I think I would pick the 49ers as my favorite to win the NFC right now.
Yeah. Do you guys like this expression right here? Does this make you happy, Amarie?
Yeah, he said about do you know in my household how much we have to hate him? But you understand.
So I have a question for you guys about this division, right? This piss poor division somebody's gonna host a home playoff game or whatever. What do you want to do to fix this? Because this happens every couple years, you get a below 500 team in hosting it, but then sometimes they win in the first round. So do you want to do anything at all or not?
I don't think if you win the division, I think if a wild card team has a better record, you win the division, you make the playoffs, but you should not host the playoff game. And okay. I'm going to say this. I think I have 2 questions for you guys here. One, I think Carolina wins this division. And if you look at this picture, why does Tom Brady have Jim Carrey's Dumb and Dumber haircut? Let me put it up again. He looks exactly like Jim Carrey here. What is going on with Tom Brady's Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber haircut? Brad, I think that the Carolina Panthers win this division.
I was actually I don't know if they win the division, but they do control their own destiny. I did hear that.
Yeah.
Which is incredible to actually think that is where we are.
I think the NFL is going to let the Bucs not win.
How is the NFL? How is that possible? That the Panthers we're talking about the Panthers winning a division right now.
No.
The Panthers fired their coach. They got rid of Christian McCaffrey. By the way, Brad, I was supposed to ask you this question because Al Michaels said after the Rams won, the Browns fans are saying,
don't ask me that question.
Please come back, Baker. That's what Al Michaels said. Please come back, Baker.
Do you really think anybody in Cleveland is saying that? Do you?
Al Michaels?
Do you?
No.
No. I will tell you this. There is a faction of people in Cleveland that they will die on the Baker Mayfield Hill for the rest of their lives. Yeah. But I do not engage them.
Okay. Good for you, Brad. Way to be above the fray. I like that. Okay, Brad, Chiefs 10-3. This was the craziest game I've ever seen because everyone was I'm not a betting man, but everyone's like, I'm going to bet the Chiefs today.
I am. I picked the -9.
They won 34. They were up 27-0 and they didn't cover, Brad. 34-28.
Yeah, unbelievable. We'll talk about a bad beat. Seriously, and this guy, look at him. How about the welt on the side of his head?
Yeah.
This is unbelievably, this is the best game he played all year.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. What a joke.
So, Travis Kelce becomes the 5th tight end in history to 10,000 receiving yards. Again, Patrick Mahomes, for the first time in his career, second time in his career, had 3 interceptions. Russell Wilson outplayed him up until he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, just a stupid game. What a weird, stupid game. I hate games like this. So, yeah, 27-0, right? And then he threw some bad interceptions. How about the miraculous underhanded pass to ridiculous play? Mahomes is amazing. But, yeah, he did throw some bad interceptions that let them back in this game. It's hard to believe, but them going up 27-0 on this defense says something in itself about Kansas City because the Broncos are one of the best defenses in the league, hands down. Like, that's the only reason they're in this game.
What does he have, like 8 bathrooms in his mansion or something
like
that?
Have you seen the tweet where it says 12 toilets and then how many touchdown passes he has? And he still has not reached the number of bathrooms that he has in his house with touchdown passes. Great graph by somebody. But either way, I mean, he got hurt. I don't feel bad for him. He's a douchebag, and I think that's it for that.
Listen, if I'm the Broncos, I do not play him the rest of the year. Am I wrong in saying that? There's no point.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point?
Save that expensive man.
All right,
they're mathematically eliminated. Yes, you can put them to bed.
Speaking of mathematically, my Philadelphia Eagles are the first team to clinch the playoffs. What I love about this team, first of all, their offensive line is scary. But 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, who we'll get to in a minute, Jalen Hurts threw for 3 touchdowns over 300 yards. Now, against the Giants, they win a totally different way. Miles Sanders, 17 catches, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. This team can beat you by throwing it deep. They could dink and dunk, and they can beat you with the running game. They are beyond impressive. And moving to the Giants, let's just all admit Daniel Jones is not going to be there next year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
What are they gonna do?
I don't know.
Jimmy G?
Jimmy G did a good job. It's just
Derek Carr?
Running game, they don't have anything. What?
Hey, Team MBS, real quick. 4 subs away from 400. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well.
Also, I would like to I will put some respect on the Eagles. It's very hard for me to say that, but it's a personal thing. I love when teams don't take the pedal off the gas, though, like the Chiefs did. Like, I just love ram it down their freaking throats. I love that kind of football. We know Billy Boy up in New England does that too, but like, just kill them, destroy them. Make the grass. I just kill them.
Well, I love it because if doing a little background for this, Brian Dable is the one who benched Jalen Hurts at Alabama for Tua. So Brian Hurts, my friend Andrew, I said I want them to put up 50 because he benched him at halftime of the national championship game. Jalen Hurts comes in, they beat Georgia, and the rest is history. Tua comes in, they beat Georgia. Brian Dable, the head coach of the Giants, benched this guy, and he had a phenomenal game. So I was very, very happy. I told my friend Andrea, I want to put up 50. Okay, let's move to.
Well, hang on. Hold on. Oh, whoa. Hey. Sorry, just kidding. It was the right move to bench him in that game, though. They came back and won, Monte.
It was the right move to bench him, but if you look now at what I loved about Jalen Hurts, he came back the following year, right? And he was a backup. And then in the SEC championship game, he comes off the bench. he helps Alabama win. He transfers to Oklahoma. He's in the Heisman Final Four. He doesn't win it. And Jalen Hurts is a better pro than Tua.
Right.
Jalen Hurts has gotten much better every year that he's played. I love the kid. He's my favorite quarterback to watch because he's accurate now. He can dink and dunk. He could throw it deep. Talk about a guy who was left for dead at Alabama, was super professional, just kept working, got drafted in the second round, kept working, and now he's going to be the MVP of the league. So take that, Brian Dable.
Okay, so but how can you be mad at Brian Dable for that? He made the right call.
I'm not mad at him. I just know what it's like when
you appear angry.
Yeah. I have two emotions, rage and anger. That's all I have. I have. So
I understand that.
Okay. All right.
No, but hey, hold on. Let's slow down. We can't just let you just say he's going to be MVP of the league and end it at that because he's not going to be MVP of the league.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
And he doesn't deserve to be MVP of the league because he's a product of what they do as a whole. There are better individual quarterbacks that are relied on more in the MVP. He's not more valuable. You could put Tua in the Eagles offense and they would be very similar in my opinion.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Well, except for the running aspect. Okay, so pick somebody else. Whatever.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is much better than.
This could turn into a whole nother show.
No,
I'm just saying Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow are all better than your guy.
You may be right.
As of now.
But no one is having a better year for his team. Could be a product of the system. He's playing great football. Great football. I agree with you, Josh. He should be the MVP. You guys disagree? We'll see what happens. Okay. Amarie, I just love Trevor Lawrence, but I said this a couple of weeks ago. We have to watch out for Seattle now because teams are starting to see what Geno Smith can do and he can't do.
Wait, what?
This is the wrong graphic.
The
Panthers go into Seattle and win the game. I'm shocked. Do you think the Panthers, like we said, got rid of everyone, can still win this division?
Well, in that trash of the division, I think it's yes. I think it's anyone's game at this point. Maybe except for the Saints. That was just a bad game yesterday. I don't want to take away from Geno Smith. I've loved his story this year. I think Pete Carroll has done a good job. They definitely have won that trade with the Broncos, even though it probably was necessary. They have a lot of draft picks next year. But as for the Panthers, good for them for still being kind of relevant, for that trash division they're in. But that was just a bad game yesterday. Bad game.
Terrible. Especially at home, you would figure that Seattle would take care of business. I kind of switched.
They can't afford to lose with the 49ers as
they play Thursday.
So that was unfortunate. But I don't want to take away from all the success that I think the Seattle Seahawks have been one of my favorite stories in the NFL this year. So just a bad game. Move forward. Tough game on Thursday, short week against the Niners. Can't wait for that one as well.
Okay.
46 carries for 223 yards for the Panthers. They are just straight up mucking it up, man. They're just trying to win ugly.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. Who I used to call Sam Darnold. I used to call him.
Your other team.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of screwed you guys up here giving you different games, but
no, it's okay. We're good.
Listen, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, we're starting to see this guy get better in his second year. I don't know what the Titans need to do, but it's just Derrick Henry and that's it, man. It's just ugly to watch. And for Jacksonville to go in there and push them around, which, 2 weeks in a row now, a Mike Vrabel team who's supposed to be tough, ready to go. 2 weeks in a row, Brad, they've gotten pushed around.
So weird. It's weird. It's hard to explain. Because I thought the Titans were on the right track, I guess. They're still going to win their division, right? So, but I mean, it's just a weird. They're hard to figure out. Their defense is good. They shouldn't be losing games like this and getting pushed around like this because that's their identity, right?
Exactly.
So what's there to believe in if they can't do what they mainly are all about, right? Beating people up and winning ugly games. So I don't know. This is kind of an awakening, right? Like, are they fraudulent?
God bless you, Avery.
Bless you.
I will say this too with Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill. I mean, when you lose AJ Brown and you don't have another legitimate number one wide receiver, teams are starting to figure it out. Listen, we'll make we'll stack the line and we'll make Derrick Henry not beat us on a 60-yard run, but 5, 6, 7 yards. If this team gets down like they were, they can't come back. They don't have a recipe to be down 14, 17 points.
Do you think Malik Willis is the long-term answer?
Well, it's hard to say because they're not going to start him as long as they're in the playoff hunt.
Right.
So we won't know until probably next year.
Yeah, next year, right? But so
win the division. And
what'd you say?
And the Titans have had it easy winning the division for that.
Yeah.
Tough division.
The worst division.
I've watched a lot of AFC South now.
God bless you.
God bless you.
And,
is that like your melatonin? Like you watch it, you just fall asleep because it's so boring?
Well, no, just like watching Titans Jaguars. It's like me, like when he has to watch me watch like the Lions and Bears. Like it's like I don't know.
I get it.
All of that sounds awful.
Good for
I think Trevor Lawrence has a bright future. I think I like Doug Peterson as a coach, so I don't think the Jaguars are going to be awful. It's just they're not there yet. But Titans overrated for winning a division.
Listen, you would go ahead, Brad.
They're still a dangerous and tough team in the playoffs just because of the way they play you. I don't think anybody would face the Titans in the first round of the playoffs. They're going to be a tough out no matter what.
That is 100% true. They are going to be a tough out. And if you want to control a game, if you want to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, how do you do it? You run. But going back to Trevor Lawrence real quick, listen, 30 for 42 against a Mike Vrabel defense. This guy's only in his second year. He still doesn't have a lot of talent around him, but 30 for 42, 3 touchdown passes. I'm happy for this kid after dealing with Urban Meyer last year, who was just a disaster. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this video, but they were talking about one of the offensive linemen. They said this was like 2 weeks ago. They said, "Who are you happy for?" They said Trevor Lawrence because he had to deal with Urban Meyer, and we all know what a disaster that was. You very rarely see a player talk about a former coach like that. Okay, let's move to tonight's game. Vance Joseph is talking trash. The defensive coordinator for the Cardinals saying that Matt Patricia. It looks like Vance Joseph, your team is 4-8. Shut up. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, buddy?
All right, Amarie, who do you like in this game? Both teams, both teams are still mathematically alive. We don't think the Cardinals are, but the Patriots desperately need this game.
Yeah, they got to win. I actually am picking now. It's interesting. I'm actually picking the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals tonight.
Brad?
I guess I'll take the 2.5 points. Whatever.
Brad? You don't sound too confident, Amarie.
Oh, I'm just thinking about the points, but okay. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Give me the Pats.
Brad?
I want the Cardinals to win this game badly. But yeah, give me the Patriots. Patriots
Brad,
are better.
I'm going with you. I'm taking the Patriots. I think they're just a better team. And if you know this, last week, Kyler Murray said, schematically, we are beyond dysfunctional. And I forget the percentage, but Cliff Kingsbury is like 62% winning games week 1 through 8. 8 through 16 in college and pros, he's winning 27% of his games. So in the second half of the year, this guy just doesn't make adjustments. Okay, let's move to the Thursday night game. You have Seattle versus San Francisco, a must-win game for Seattle. I am going to take the San Francisco 49ers. Brock, he's not as purdy as Jimmy G, but he's getting it done.
Same.
I mean, the 49ers are the top best team in the NFL. Yes.
Okay, we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Amarie, finally, let's talk about your. Are you still doing parlays, or are we stopping that?
So they've become smaller. So yesterday I took the Texans plus 17.5. I took the Jets plus 10 and the Chiefs -9. I was like, oh, easy dubs. Easy dubs for some extra Christmas money. No.
So the Chiefs killed you.
Often, but I'm it's becoming less.
Okay. That's good.
The NFL is, I mean, impossible to bet.
By the
Look
way,
at some of the.
do you guys
Look
want
at some of the.
It's impossible, Brad.
I'm having fun betting college basketball. I'm not gonna lie.
Look at some of the lines this week and how they ended up. I mean, Vegas probably built a new
what they're doing, Brad. They want to take
casino this week.
Browns are favored by 3, Brad.
Yeah.
By the way, do you see? I don't know, Brad. You're not on TikTok. Amarie, you're on TikTok. Do you see the new trend of what's happening? What's happening is someone's creating something where they I don't know how they do it. They say, I just heard that this guy's going to score on a run, and then like he's live doing it, and then the guy goes in and scores a touchdown, and then someone just posted something. I'm listening to the live feed during the Lions game, and he goes, they just passed the play. They got the first down on 4th down to Sewell. He's like, why would they pass? He's like, I'm listening to. I don't know how they do it, what type of trickery, but it's almost saying like we're living in the Matrix.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah,
it's all rigged.
Sounds quite intriguing.
It's just conspiracy theories. The NFL is not rigged, people. Trust me.
Maybe
it is not.
2023, I'll stop doing parlays, but I still got 2 more weeks.
Hey. I replied to that post. I was like 99.9% chance she does not stop doing parlays. Hammer the over on Amarie doing more parlays.
Well, my husband and I had a family meeting about it, and so the only thing we do is if we have any emotion in the game, we don't bet on it. We don't bet on Colts in the house. We don't bet on Vikings, Tom Brady, or anything Patriots.
Brad,
How does
isn't
that?
this like the first step of a problem when you have a family meeting about something?
Yeah.
How does that family meeting go? Like, hey, can I talk to you? Because it's just the 2 of you, right?
Yeah, there's just the 2 of us.
Family meeting.
College basketball.
I'm loving college basketball because when I go into the sports bet, there's a bunch of schools I've never heard of, and I pick them and they win. It's awesome.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a good strategy.
Right.
Just going on luck.
And yeah, because you don't know, and like no expectations.
Okay, Amarie, how can we follow you? How is your Saturday show doing?
Oh, it was so good. It's been going good. So I'm headed to Minnesota this week, so I will not have a show, but you can catch me on KNML. The link's on my Twitter. You can follow me at Part-Time Bro. And I'm on the Sports Animal Monday through Saturday in the mornings. And I do stand-up comedy after the holidays. Back on stage after the holidays.
Sounds great. Have fun at the game.
Okay, guys, look for me here because it's on primetime, so I hate that for Kirk and the Viking fans. Okay, so national television. Okay, we're going to be literally first row, front row behind the Colts. Center.
Okay. I'm assuming you're going to have a full Monte Sports Show banner.
Yes. But we're center, front row, first row, behind the Colts. I don't know. It's weird that we got behind the Colts. I don't know. It's weird. I wonder how we got.
That's awesome. Good for you. Enjoy yourself. All right. Thank you so much, Amarie. Love having you on the show. Welcome back. People miss you.
Skull.
All right, Brad. Talk about what's going on in your world. Seen a lot of articles, seen a lot of different things. For you and the Browns.
Yeah, man, I've been writing my ass off lately, and so that's been good. Go check it out at theobr.com, theorangeandbrownreport.com, and of course, listen to All Eyes on Cleveland, where all popular podcasts are found.
Yes, and Brad, like I said, I just started my podcast. About 30 minutes of sports take, the full Monty Sports. I used to do a podcast back in the day, and then once COVID started, I started doing the YouTube shows, but I'm back at it doing podcasts, so I will have you on in a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I was going to say we should hook up and do a show.
But I recorded it. It's not live.
Yeah, no.
All right. All right, Brad.
They never
enjoy by the way, real quick, Cleveland Cavs playing much better, Brad.
Much better, right?
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell's been out the last two, and but they're coming along.
In the game, obviously, you had your son do a college visit, but I did the Lakers Cleveland Cavaliers game, and in the first half, I was calling Jared Allen Shaq because he had about 10 dunks. He had one of the games of his life. I mean, they
Big
were
win.
getting in the paint at will, and I love seeing him finish around the rim because he's a power dunker. Let's be honest, he goes up with authority, and their bigs are really good.
They are. Their bigs are good, and that was a fun win against the Lakers. That was a
By the way,
cool
Lakers play much better.
Atmosphere. Lakers play much better. Fun win. Get Mitchell back. They'll be fine. Yeah, they're. I think that they have. I think they'll finish right what we talked about.
Top four, yeah, top four.
Top
right?
four, maybe around 50 wins, hopefully.
Yeah, which would be great. I love the city of Cleveland when their teams do well because I lived there for a year, and the fans are great. And let's be honest, they've been trashed without LeBron forever. So thank God they're playing well.
Guardians signed Josh Bell.
Yeah, and the Mets have signed all old pitchers. But you know what? Verlander won the Cy Young this year, so he could probably still go another year.
Listen, it's a big deal when Dolan decides to shell out any kind of money in Cleveland for a player. So kudos to
all right, Brad.
Happy about that.
We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you, guys. Fun show. Have a good night.
All right, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Had a bunch of new listeners chiming in on the chat. We love that. If you come in, whether I agree with your takes or not, I'm going to put the chat up there so you feel part of the show. In the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.